Welcome back to the channel, viewers and subscribers. How are you today? I hope all is well. Today I'm here with another topic that we are going to be talking about. It's very, very relevant. It is timely, especially in this pandemic. And we really are talking about teachers. And I have some favorite teachers, and my kids have some as well. So we're just gonna go straight into the video. But first, I must say, remember to share this with a teacher or an aspiring teacher because they do a good job. First, I want to say there are teachers and there are teachers. Some people teach because it is a job and it pays the bills and they are qualified to teach because they have the education, but that's all that is a job. But there are some teachers who, whether they get paid well or not, it doesn't matter the circumstances, whether the school is in a bad condition or whatever, trust me, they are going to make the best use of what they have. Like my nephew, who is a principal, he gets sent to some terrible places, mess up his car and everything, but he still worked with what he had, and their children always, their school always wins some kind of competition or something. He does his best. Anyway, let me first talk about my experience with some of my teachers, my favorite teachers. In basic school, I had 3 teachers. Teacher Ina Jagai, Sister Judes, and Sister Grace. And that's where I was taught a lot of my Bible verses. Psalms 1, Psalms 23, Psalms 24, Ruth 1 and verse 16. And then we learn about Luke 2, when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judah. All those things, we learn that in basic school. So sometimes people hear me quote scriptures, they think I learned it in church. No, I was taught that from a very tender age, when my brain was like a sponge. So I learned all that in basic school. In grade school, I remember Mrs. Henry teaching me Psalms 46. That is my favorite psalm. And when I recite that, or they are reading it in church, I just recite it with such life and dignity that you think I wrote the psalm, because it is a powerful psalm. And she taught us that. She even taught us Exodus chapter 5 verses 1 to 3 and Exodus chapter 15 verses 1 to 3. Those were the scriptures I learned from that teacher, and she was a Christian, and she was really well put together, and you learn from these people the way they carried themselves. So she was a great teacher as well. After her was Mrs. McKen. Mrs. McKen taught us a lot of poems, and she taught us Psalms 19. The heavens declare the glory of God. That was Mrs. McKen. Yes. And she was a lovely teacher, full of class and finesse. And she loved her class. She loved her class. She made us comfortable. She taught us apart from the schoolwork that we get, she taught us poems like the Daffodils by Wordsworth, I Shall Return by Claude McKay, The Tomcat by Don Marquis, and we learned a lot of memory gems, We had 6 poems for that year in our class. We had 6 poems, and we also had 12 memory gems. So we were just having a ball. Then you have Mrs. Whiteley. She was the music teacher then, and she was our private lesson teacher. And boy, she taught us how to sit like ladies. And some people would say these teachers are rough and whatever, but trust me, those teachers gave us life. You hear me? Those teachers left something with us. You know, they made great impact on our lives, and I thank God for them. I really thank God for them. Then another teacher that I had who was very instrumental in my life was Mr. Palmer, Jeremy Palmer. He became a politician later on because teachers don't get paid well. And when you have a brain like that, you need to get paid for your dedication and everything. He was our music teacher in the 8th grade. He was our social studies teacher and our math teacher. And Mr. Palmer, just like Miss McKen, they know when you have potential and when you waste time, they fix your business. And you can't go home and tell your mother either because the teacher knows what you are capable of, but sometimes you want to play around. My God, I love Mr. Palmer's social study classes. Oh God, you learn about the Nile in Africa, the in South America, the river, the Orinoco River, the Congo, he was such a great teacher. He stretched our minds and he stimulated our minds. I'm telling you, that man was such a great teacher. And I don't think teachers get the recognition that they really deserve, but I'm giving them the recognition today. And I believe we should really give teachers much more, because they deserve more. I went to a prep school, but I never had any great experience that I can say, well, this teacher was this or whatever. No. All the other schools I talked about was like local schools, public schools. I think that's all for me with my teachers. And I really commend them for the work that they had done to make me into what I am today. Now, my daughter always talked about her teacher, Mrs. Duane. I think she was Miss at the time, Miss Duane. And she always talked about her teacher. And she said, Mommy, I really want to get in contact with that teacher because she was such a great influence in my life, because my daughter was able to take the common entrance just because of this teacher, because there was something wrong with her birth certificate. And Miss Duane said, you're taking the exam, we have to find a way. And I was away from there, so she found a way, and my daughter took the exam and passed. She said, you have to take the exam, you are ready. And she did the exam and she passed, and she went to Merle Grove. Miss Barbara Duane, that is. Then she met another teacher who was her headmistress, Barbara Martin. And all my daughter's friends who went to Merle Grove, they all have one thing in common. They revered and respected Miss Martin because she was such a great woman, dignified, well polished, and every now and again they will talk about these teachers, the kids will talk about their teachers. Then my son, he had a great teacher that he told me about. We even spoke. I've never spoken to Miss Duane, but I've spoken to Miss Martin. and I've spoken to my son's teacher, Miss Gorzang, Marie Gorzang. And I just want people to realize how important teachers are. And we need to give them respect. When our children are rude and disrespectful or whatever, you don't go and curse out teacher. You don't go and curse out teacher. You work with the teacher. You work with the teacher. And I've seen a lot of things, even with my son and his children, he makes sure he have constant contact with the teacher, go to the school, meet them, have meetings with them, phone calls and everything. Teachers are very special to us, and we need to treat them with much respect and give them the respect that they need, they deserve, and treat them better, man. They do a great job, and they're not paid well. They are not paid well. And I think that should not be the case. And I mean, they don't get paid, even in other countries, they don't get paid well. The Jamaican teachers, they struggle. And these teachers, sometimes they have to make their own materials, and they find ways to make their own material just for kids to learn. I forgot to tell you about my daughter's basic school teacher, Mrs. Barrett. Mrs. Barrett was a wonderful teacher too. She made great impact on my daughter's life. At least all three of the kids went to the school. She taught them how to say, "I am sorry." She was a great teacher as well. And one day she said to me, I went to a graduation and I noticed they had one of the students saying the vote of thanks. So I said to myself, Caroline can do it. So when she came home, she saw me the next morning and she said, I need you to teach Caroline this. So she gave me a piece of paper and she said, I went to the school and I heard a little young girl reciting it, and I said, I know she can do this, so I needed to teach it to her. And I taught my daughter it like 3 evenings, and up to now she still remembers it. She recited it for me the other day. And I tell you, that woman prepared my daughter for the world. And then she met Mrs. Duane, then Miss Martin, and boy, they did that. Those teachers did a number on my daughter, and she is a successful woman today, just because of those teachers. So, teachers are some special people, and I think we need to regard them as such. And I also have an uncle who was a great teacher back in his days, very proper. Oh God, extremely proper. When he came by the house, oh my goodness, you can tell the man was a teacher. So teachers are some special people. They educate us, they stimulate our minds, and we really need to give them more respect. For me, some people have some big jobs, and people respect people because of the jobs that they do. Because they're a businessman and you work with an oil company, people big you up and make you feel important. But the people who actually deserve the recognition, they're not getting it. Like teachers, sanitation workers, people who work in hospital facilities, and nursing homes and those places. Those people deserve the respect, but they don't get much. They work the hardest and they don't get much. I mean, doctors get paid well, but now they are overworked and everything. But teachers, man, give them what they deserve. They have your children for like 7 hours a day or 6 hours a day. I included the break time. They deserve that respect. And children of today are not like when we were growing up. These don't have no respect. When my son came to America and he noticed that when the children walk in the class, they don't say good morning to the teacher. That was kind of like foreign to him. He got this culture shock where they would speak to the teacher anyhow, and he would say, Mommy, you should hear the way they talk to the teacher. So one time, he was going to Susan B. Anthony, and they called me at the school, and I said, make sure you didn't do anything, because me thump you down right before the teacher. And he said, no, man. And both the math teacher spoke to me and the English teacher, both of them, because, they arranged with me what time, what day I could come. So my son came and I told him the day. And then I went and I met them. And believe you me, one of the teachers said, Miss Edwards, if I had 10 students like your son, I would continue to teach. But I am so fed up and I have to leave the teaching profession. So when you have good teachers, you have to treat them well, because especially now, children are not easy to deal with and teachers have no rights. So send this video to a teacher to encourage them, male or female. Just send it out to the teachers because they deserve our respect. So until next time, viewers and subscribers, like, share the video, and don't forget to leave a comment if you have one. So have a great day, and I'll see you next time. All right?